You mentioned earlier, you know, the media enablers like Stephanopoulos who will run cover for the Bidens of the world and try to make people like Nancy Mace look like they're on the wrong side of rape, an actual rape victim. And that continued as late as this morning and will continue to, I'm sure, because that clip that we showed of Stephanopoulos with Nancy Mace is being used by the left. The left is loving that today. They're ripping on her. And again, none of them will show the fact that he brought it up. He got into the segment with her by running the clip about her rape. She didn't go there. She didn't just go, hey, I'm a rape victim. You can't ask me about Trump. And you know, he set it up that way. That's why she was defensive. Of course. It's so dishonest. So here's a flavor for how they covered it this morning on Morning Joe. Watch.
It's just not offensive, and she's not shamed because she's incapable of being shamed.
Although she tried to shame Megyn Kelly. My God.
What we saw from Representative Mace there, it was indeed, even though she's impossible to be shamed, it was shameful, trying to twist what George Stephanopoulos did and go on the political attack, tried to hide behind something, of course, that truly terrible happened in order to defend her support of Donald Trump.
Oh my God. That last guy, Jonathan Lemire, is the chief White House. He's the bureau chief, the White House bureau chief for Politico, which is, he's supposed to be a nonpartisan person, also hosts a morning show on MSNBC. She's trying to hide behind her rape. You mean the one that was thrown in her face by Stephanopoulos? And once again, Morning Joe didn't show that that's how it was set up. It's just grossly dishonest, Andrew. And the truth is, they're influential. People will look at that and dismiss her as like, oh, she just tried to use her rape to get out of the question.
What's going on, everyone? Talks with Kenny here today. And oh my God, I couldn't write it better myself. You know, I just finished doing a video with Chris Cuomo versus Tucker Carlson, and they're talking about, oh, why we can't speak to each other? Why we're so partisan? Why we're so divided as a country? And not recognizing the problems coming from the left. And then when conservatives point out rightly that the left has control of these media institutions, how they project, they cast the right in a negative light, where their constituents and their voters are more likely to block people of opposing political opinions, unfriend them, disassociate from them, have them canceled. Oh no, it's both sides, says the cowardly liberals. Right? And I'm glad Megyn Kelly is exposing the dishonesty. Oh my God. The dishonesty of the mainstream media. My goodness. You seen that? If you haven't seen the clip, I can show you a quick, not a quick snippet, but I'm not going to talk too much. Before I get into the video, please like and share. Please like, subscribe, and share. I really do appreciate it. I got to start asking you guys earlier in the video so that way it can help this video go viral because it needs to. People need to be aware of this guy. Oh my God. The expose. Magnifico. It's crazy. So, in this clip, I don't want to hold you guys too long. It's going to be a 4-minute clip. It's going to be one of the longer quick clips that I have on this channel. And then we'll go into more in depth on the actual video of Megyn Kelly revealing the truth about George Stephanopoulos' past shaming of sexual assault. Let's take a look.
Nancy Mace, a Donald Trump supporter who gave candid and courageous testimony about her own experience as a rape victim weeks before launching her run for Congress in 2019.
From some of us who've been raped, it can take 25 years to get up the courage and talk about being a victim of rape.
How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
It's a shame that you will never feel, George, and I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury.
It was not a criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting.
I'm not trying to shame you.
You are.
I'm just asking.
And I find it offensive, and this is why women won't come forward.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape? I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's
You're
been
asking a rape victim.
And
you're
you've courageously talked about
because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting
shaming me. You're
someone who's been found liable for rape.
Exactly,
you're not answering the question.
And I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you also have to answer the question.
If you want to defend a woman who made a mockery out of rape, then you go ahead and do that. I'm not going to do that.
Well, actually, what you're doing is defending a man who's been found liable for rape. I don't understand how you can do that. The judge affirmed that it was, in fact, rape. Donald Trump was found to have committed rape. That's just a fact. We'll let the viewers decide about that. Let's talk about January 6th.
What a kind, sensitive man who clearly cares deeply about women and their sexual assault allegations. Thanks for being an ally, George. I see how concerned you are that victims might not come forward if they are publicly attacked by their rapist or his defenders. To be sure, that is a very real concern. It happens all the time, which you know, because you invented it.
Stephanopoulos, pretty high and mighty there, doing all that mansplaining. Well, let's do a little explaining about who George is. He parties with Jeffrey Epstein. Yep. George Stephanopoulos showed up at his house. This has been reported. It's known. It was reported discreetly because they got to protect, Stephanopoulos. It was December of 2010, and Jeffrey Epstein was sitting down for dinner with some of his famous friends, personalities who spanned the TV dial from morning to late night. There was George Stephanopoulos. I knew about Jeffrey Epstein. George Stephanopoulos did not. One of the highest paid men in television. What did George say when he got busted? I should have done more due diligence. It was a mistake to go. How much is this guy paid to tell the truth? You don't get paid $15 million to tell the truth over there at ABC. Here's something else you may not know about George Stephanopoulos. He was one of Bill Clinton's henchmen. And Bill Clinton, of course, had issues with women, right? And Stephanopoulos wrote about this in his 1999 memoir, George Stephanopoulos, All Too Human. And he used a degrading word that I would never use, and he put it in a book, bimbo, B-I-M-B-O. I'm only saying it because I'm quoting him here. From helping to choose a Supreme Court nominee to smothering another bimbo eruption. This was his job. CNN dropped the story after a single mention, and none of the other networks picked it up. We'd survived our first bimbo eruption. And he goes on like this. Hillary was always the first to defend him on the bimbo eruptions. Who writes a book like this?
As you can see, George Stephanopoulos, yo, and the audacity. And I think the reason why George Stephanopoulos felt comfortable being this way is because he knows, majority of people of my political tribe, they got the media game on lock. They ain't gonna cover this. I'm safe. No one's gonna know this. Maybe those right wingers. I don't know. Listen to them. We got the whole game on lock. We dominate media. Majority of journalists are Democrats. Man, they ain't gonna report on this story. But now, bruh, so enough about me and the reaction. I'm sure you guys enjoyed all that. Megyn's gonna continue going in on this, so I'm gonna give a little bit. I'm gonna give a little reaction to the video, and then I'll top off the video with my final thoughts. Let's get into it.
When you created a whole command center designed to smear Bill Clinton's sexual assault and rape accusers, so you could elevate him right into the presidency. The attorney representing many of Bill's accusers, and there were many, George, Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, to name.
She's naming by name. It is baffling. I always wonder. Imagine if it was a conservative man doing this, right? And this is the funny part about liberals and the Democrats. And because end of the day, you can't have an honest discussion with somebody that don't even have any principles, it seems like, right? If morality, this is why I don't judge people to create their own moral values, because they'll bend it to whatever whims that serves them, right? Stephanopoulos, in one hand, he wants to use Nancy Mace shame her because, oh, how you can support a guy if you've been raped before? And the authorities, this is just the facts. The fact says the judge said you can interpret this sexual assault as rape. But is that what actually happened? And this is the problem with liberals and Democrats. They have this authoritarian streak of trying to normalize and change behaviors, change language. They want to play these linguistic games. Oh, look, this person in authority, which is a fallacy, by the way. Just because someone of authority says rape doesn't make it rape. Rape is a common understanding of, hey, you forced yourself on a woman without her consent. Was that what Trump did? No. She couldn't prove it. She went after them civilly. And I'm starting to get to this position where if someone goes after someone civilly, I automatically don't believe you. Sorry. I'm sorry. To me, it looks like a regret situation. Like you regret having sex with him and now you're just trying to extort him by slandering his name and hurting his brand, and you hope to get paid off by them. I only respect criminal cases because to me, if I was ever raped, I want criminal charges. I want that man under the jail, right? But I don't understand. Like you can't put a price to that. You can't put a price to you violating my dignity, my property rights, my bodily autonomy, as women would like to say. But maybe it's different from a man compared to a woman. But women, you let me know your thoughts about this, because I want that man under the jail. I don't want to take no payout. I don't want to take no money. You can't buy my consent, because that's the kind of perception I get from a lot of these cases where women come after men civilly. No, come after them criminally because you want a lower bar, huh?
Believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Do you believe that the vice president should enter this race?
Grabian, the multimedia marketplace.
Himself. I wouldn't tell him what to do.
See, this is where Democrats get themselves in trouble, right? They don't have a position. They don't have a position. Their position is whatever gets me power, whatever gets me control, whatever gets me my way. I'm for bodily autonomy when it comes to abortion. I'm not for bodily autonomy when it comes to COVID. Same situation here playing out right before your eyes. Oh, I'm not shaming you with your rape allegations, and then have a past history of shaming previous sexual assault victims with their allegations and that. Like, what? How you can get away with this? It just blatantly exposed the problem with the left, Democrats. They don't hold their own people accountable. They let their people get away with murder because they're on their side. You saw in the intro, I showed you the dishonesty. They hear, oh, she's not ashamed. She don't feel ashamed. But let a Republican say that about a woman accusing you. Let Brett Kavanaugh say that about his victims. Oh my God, you can't even hear it. Liberal women day and night will claim about, oh, Brett Kavanaugh was accused of rape. But then they don't hold that same fire for Joe Biden, Bill Clinton. The hypocrisy is astounding. This is why like a lot of people on the right don't care anymore. They don't care if you get censored, canceled. You're like, yo, you reap what you sow. You advocated for it. Now you're falling by the sword. You live by the sword. You die by the sword. You live by cancel culture. You get removed by cancel culture. Culture. Yes. So to me, I expect Stephanopoulos to lose his job at this point, but he won't.
Just a few. Said you and James Carville, at Hillary Clinton's direction, formed a so-called war room, whose purpose was, quote, to destroy any woman that would challenge Bill Clinton. You know the war room. They made a whole movie about it.
George Stephanopoulos, I'm Director of Communications.
Bush was on the defensive. Another good night for Bill Clinton. 3 debates, 3 wins.
I guarantee you that if you do this, you'll never work in Democratic politics again.
Such a tough guy. This attorney points out that you don't like to talk about this particular behavior, George. Maybe that's why you skipped it in your discussion with Nancy Mace. But as you know, private detectives were hired. The women say they were threatened, and they were publicly shamed by you and your well-funded team. Did you worry then that this behavior might shame victims from coming forward? You admitted in your own memoir that Hillary Clinton told you about one accuser, quote, we have to destroy her story. Did you object? Did you say, that's shaming? No.
And old habits die hard, George. Old habits die hard because essentially you're doing what you always did. In the beginning, you shamed, women that could hurt the run of your guy, Bill Clinton. And now you're doing the same thing for Joe Biden. Right? But we're respectable journalists. we call things objectively. But you have a history of shaming women. And then when Nancy Mace accurately called out what you were trying to do, you try to deny it. Oh, possible deniability. That's not what he was doing. Oh, you're just trying to politicize this. How dare you use your grape as a shield against our criticism and questions? We'll let the audience decide. Well, the audience is deciding. And with this new heavy of information, it gives more credibility to Nancy Mace accurately calling out your tactics. Because it's your game. It's your MO. Oh my God. I never seen an expose as good as this, bro. Hey, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to give this one more minute and then I'll wrap up.
Oh, in fact, you later described yourself as Bill Clinton's, quote, enabler. But sir, how could you have enabled and defended a man like this, accused by multiple women of sexual assault, rape, and harassment? Which brings us to Paula Jones. You were Clinton's attack dog when Jones came forward claiming Bill Clinton had exposed himself to her. That when he was governor of Arkansas, he summoned her through state troopers to a Little Rock, Arkansas hotel room and took out his penis. A charge Clinton denies, just as Trump denies E. Jean Carroll's allegation.
So essentially, the hypocrisy got exposed, bro. Like you say, oh, how can you do this to someone? And literally, you're the pot calling the kettle black. At least with E. Jean Carroll, there's a huge amount of scrutiny, huge amount of doubt. With a lot of the stuff that's going against Bill Clinton, there's a lot of credibility. Like you deploy the whole media apparatus not to cover this, not to expose this. There's evidence, I think, of this happening. State troopers, that's witnesses. Right? But E. Jean Carroll can't even remember the last time she was doing this. Nancy may say, hey, her stories don't line up. This is a mockery of real rape victims. And we're praising her as the media darling, how she's bragging about how she's going to spend the money, which gives more people reasons not to trust E. Jean Carroll. But these stories don't get any attention. If this don't show you that the Democratic Party got the media apparatus on lock and that the liberal media is propaganda at this point, hey, look, I can't save you. No one can save you, bro. No, if the truth if the truth in front of you cannot convince you that, hey, there's something up, something don't smell right, I don't know what to tell you. Because at this point, it validates the reason why all non-Democrats do not trust the mainstream media. Why non-Democrats no longer get their news from these legacy sources, these authoritative sources. Because we know it's controlled, it's manipulated, it's slanted towards a certain worldview. Depict Democrats positively, downplay their negatives, uplift their positives. Republicans uplift their negatives, downplay their positives. But you know what? People are scared to have conversations. Well, we don't understand. Oh, we want to bring bipartisanship back to the public discussion. But who stoked the fire first? The left. Who censored people out of to oblivion, to the corners of the shadow realm in the internet sphere and space. Democrats, Twitter files, colluding with the government. Right? Jordan Peterson just had a talk with Congress explaining how liberals will abuse this power if we allow the state to have it. But, you're conspiracy theory. No, I'm just a skeptical human being that has a brain. That's what it means. But, I digress. I have all the videos you want. If you want to deep dive this on Megyn Kelly, Black Conservative Perspective, this is how I got highlighted about the story. If you want to look at it yourselves, the links are in the description below. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I would like to hear your comments on this because, hey, I want to hear what you guys have to say, what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you believe George Stephanopoulos should lose his job? Should he issue an apology to Nancy Mace? I'd like to hear it all in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe once again, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.